Most of the best companies in the world seem to survive or thrive because they decide to take a path that's going to serve the marketplace best. And a lot of companies that are in the Bitcoin mining world were finding that they weren't really maybe providing as much value to the marketplace as they wanted, or at least saw that they could provide more value by shifting to the AI infrastructure to support companies to be able to build out more technologies in the AI markets. And as a result, we see IREN as one of the top data center companies that is growing in 2026 and beyond. Now, I say beyond because there are some things that are contributing to their growth, not just because of AI, but because of their previous setup with their Bitcoin mining. So if you were to look at what they actually have going, I was curious to know how much money are they making versus their Bitcoin mining versus their AI cloud as of their last earnings. So what's interesting is that a year ago, before they decided to pivot from the Bitcoin mining to the AI cloud, so before we get into some of the numbers, if you go to their actual site and you look at what they have, right now, all of their advertising, all of their communication is heavily focused on AI cloud for the next big thing. AI cloud, energy that's renewable, powered by renewable energy, AI for faster cloud workloads, Nvidia fully integrated for greater flexibility. Everything is marketing trusted AI infrastructure, future proof for your growth with infrastructure located at large scale sites in emerging AI hubs. So everything is focused on the data centers, right? You can see they have this map of the United States where they show their top next generation data centers that are purpose built for high performance, power dense compute, and they are grid connected for continuous and reliable service powered by 100% renewable energy. And then they just go over all of the reasons why they're focused on building with partners like Nvidia, Supermicro Computer, and then another notable one is Dell Technologies. So while you look at the data center narrative, they're obviously very clearly marketing that they are for data centers. And that's totally good. I mean, that's going to be something that's going to get more attention right now. But is that actually where all of their revenue has come from? I mean, if we look at their earnings and we look at where things are actually materializing, we'll actually notice that currently, as of the last quarter reported, their Bitcoin mining made up $111 million, whereas a year before they were doing 167 million. So they are declining in their Bitcoin mining, but it's still making up about 77% of their revenue. So with this in mind, you would see them as fully marketing AI, but right now they did 111 million in Bitcoin mining and 33 million in AI cloud. So here's the thing about the AI cloud. While you see the Bitcoin mining kind of almost go in half, not fully in half, but decline by about, what is that, 35, 40%, the AI cloud doubled in revenue. So you saw them go from 17 million to 33 million. So it's true that their main focus is obviously AI. They're declining in mining and then they're increasing in AI cloud. But overall, their revenue dipped to 144 million. They actually decreased their revenue, and the mining hardware that they decommissioned took a hit in their revenue. Now, the good news about that is because they decommissioned some old hardware, they then came in with a new Nvidia partnership where these chips and reference architecture along with equity came in all in one deal. So they came in with 5 gigawatts of infrastructure through Nvidia DSX aligned AI infrastructure. They also got a contract pipeline now of 5-year AI cloud contracts for air-cooled Blackwell GPUs, those are Nvidia, ramping early 2027. So while they decommissioned some mining, they opened up space and they got some contracts for building out their AI cloud with 3.4 billion. So this is a large contract. This isn't, a $50 million deal. This isn't a $100 million deal. This is big time money. This is 3.4 billion. Now, that's going to be, if you do the math there, you look at 5 gigawatts, so you got 5 gigawatts, $3.4 billion. So we're talking a little bit under $1 billion per gigawatt, not too bad. And then you got equity alignment. So some companies we see they're doing like billion per 100 megawatts. So their billing is, it's all right. It's not too bad, but you can see that they're making the revenue. They're getting in fast. So that's what you like to see. Other companies like APLD might see that their contract values are going to be higher per megawatt or per gigawatt, but it's going to be a lot longer maybe for their time horizon, and they might have been able to get a little more into the systems faster, whereas this company just recently pivoted to the Bitcoin mining, so they're having to get into the game quickly, and so that's why maybe we see that that 3.4 billion, just a little bit less of expectation and contract value compared to their current infrastructure. But it doesn't mean that they can't actually increase more. And so where they're at right now, 5-year right to buy. They have a deal with Nvidia for $2 billion equity. And then their customer base also is $1.9 billion with Microsoft. And you see an average annual revenue under contract of nearly $2 billion. And that's going to be driving 95%. You can see 95% of Microsoft GPU capital expenditure funded via GPU financing and prepayments. And this is a huge data center they're working in. This is a huge drive of Microsoft's growth, and they're investing in IREN to make that happen. And they also have some other AI cloud customers like Together.ai, Fluidstack, Fireworks. I'm not super familiar with those, but apparently those are companies that are growing fast and seeing a lot of traction in the AI markets. And then you've got capital positions, so we can kind of look at this. A little hard to read, so I'm going to go over to Prophecy real quick, and I'm going to look at here. By the way, we just launched Prophecy Air. If you're looking at the charts and you want to be able to now automatically draw, let's say, support and resistance, I can automatically do so, and I can automatically get those analysis of those support and resistance levels, or I can automatically see the projections on any stock just like this with Prophecy Air. So we just launched a new version. You can get the latest and greatest chart analysis that I've been using over in the first link below. And you also get access to our daily live trading sessions that we do every Monday through Friday when you join in that first link in the VIP. So it's free to join the challenge, 5 days for next week. If you want to tune on in, just have a look. But looking at some of the projections on IREN, you look into the next, let's say, let's do a 1-year chart. Let's look into the next 1-year projections. A lot of projections here on the chart are looking fairly bullish, right? We're seeing these movements up into $55 to $60 a share. So seeing some big potential recoveries up into these levels, 28% per year, 30% per year, an average of 25% per year projected growth for IREN. So very consistent growth. And how do we know that they're going to be in a good spot? Well, a couple things. I've been looking at the IREN insurance, and again, this isn't guaranteed, but if you look at some of the companies that provide insurance for these companies, so one would be, I think it's called CB. Okay, let's see if it pulls up here. CB. So this company provides insurance for the AI data center infrastructure. And you can see they've been growing here very consistently at about 30% per year. So if the insurance started to spike, which we do see the insurance doing pretty well, they're kind of up there. That's just an indicator I've been using. But overall, what we're seeing is there's quite a projection of more solid investment into not just the data center markets, but also the insurance behind the data center markets. So just something to consider. That a lot of these companies are backed even by governments. If they're working with Dell, they're working with Intel, maybe. Even Microsoft, a lot of these companies in the Stargate $500 billion deal that was for OpenAI and Anthropic and Microsoft and what have you, and Apple also signed a $500 billion pledge to build manufacturing inside the US. When all that stuff happened, a lot of it's government backed. So just keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, you look into the financials. So let's go over to Prophecy. Let's look at IREN's financials real quick. I'll pull them up. Hopefully the screen is super clear and you guys can see everything here. Here's the financials, right? The income statements are looking like they're continually seeing the annual growth kick in, but a lot of capital expenditure over the last 2 quarters. Now, as I mentioned, they are seeing from a perspective of their revenue, the AI cloud is bringing in less than the mining. And as they're pivoting from AI cloud to the mining, they're having to spend a lot of money, right? And so what does that mean? Well, if you look at the spend here we are, and you look at how much they're planning to spend, and we look at their capital positions, they're still operating net loss, but Microsoft here planning to spend a ton, and you have the growth for how much they're expected to get in megawatts, so nearly 4 gigawatts into 2028. And currently they're targeting about $3.7 billion in ARR. So what does that mean? Well, right now they're kind of looking like they're having to go through some growing pains. You see some negative net income of about $250 million, and you see their annual growth looking good as they grow their revenue pretty consistently, but the revenue kind of declining just a tad, negative net income. Why? They're spending drastically more to be able to build and pivot to this AI market. Now, what happens? You have a trend that's happening with AI, obviously a trend, but you got a lot more spending happening. And a lot of people are spending a lot in AI. It doesn't mean it's not a good investment, but you do have to watch out. Those negative net incomes are in the anticipation that demand's going to continue to hold very, very strongly, and we're going to see more investments back in. Now, I remember when, for example, Tesla started doing a bunch of electric cars, there was this lagging period from like 2022 to 2024 where no one was really buying as many electric cars. They saw margins drop. They saw margins thin out, and they saw the revenue slightly slow down. And that can happen when you have a lot of companies at that time were jumping into electric vehicles, for example. You see it with most markets. You see it with solar back in 2020. Oh my gosh, all the solar stocks pumped up. Everybody's investing a ton. And then, everything just sold off massively. I think there was like a green deal or so it wasn't the green deal, but it was a new type of green energy deal that came out. And that was a big sell-off for the whole market kind of collapse. Now, I'm not saying that that's what we're seeing here. With there's a lot of solid companies I invest in that are the underlying technologies of these companies. Whether it's in Nvidia, it could be Broadcom, it could be AMD. A lot of those companies we've been investing for some time. Google is a big one as well. And there's a lot of companies like that. But what you're going to see is that net income negative. You just got to see that they do continue to increase their revenue. We did see some institutional selling recently. And while insiders, you look at CEO bots, things are looking bullish on the insiders. Some of that institutional selling can be really volatile. The stock moves 10, 20% at a time. But when I look at the projections and I look at their current deals, and I look at their movement that they have going on for the types of companies they work with, like Microsoft or Nvidia, it appears that they're one of the top growth companies in the AI data center market. And as a result, there's levels. We could be a little bit biased. I just made a video on this where you're biased potentially to previous levels of $70 a share, where they're at 44 right now. But you do have the 200-day moving average that they're approaching right now. If they break up above that $45 to $50 range, they start to look more bullish and continuing that trend back up in that $60 to $70. But actually, we don't have a lot of confirmation that they're going to just rocket up. We have the spend pledge, and then we also have their earnings coming up in about 10 days from now. Now, when their earnings come out in about 10 days, that's going to give us a lot of indication. They come out with even more revenue. They start to see that their revenue is growing even more. Net income possibly even narrows a little bit. It's not so negative on that side. Then we're going to see them most likely see continuation of trend. But a lot's riding on August 27th for those earnings calls that are coming up. And if you look at the chart, to see them at that 200-day moving average, they come in with bad earnings. You might see some rejections, even sell down into $30 a share. But if we're looking more into the future and we see things start to play out well for them as capital expenditure increases from most tech companies, as we've seen in the last few quarters, and Microsoft spending more and Apple is spending more, I don't really see a world where they come out with great earnings and that is the truth. General markets hold kind of normal. There's volatility right now. There's wars, there's tariffs. There's things like that. But generally speaking, things kind of hold as they are. We'll probably see, for the most part, a continuation for this company. And the continuations, again, look into that $60 to $70 ranges. And that's kind of where you see those potentials for about 50 to even 70% recoveries up into these levels of that $60 to $70. So I would watch this $45 range, and the short term looks very volatile. Now, in the long term, this company is building pretty good growth, pretty good infrastructure. But as I mentioned, their AI is growing. It doubled, which is good, but they're still basically relying on all of their Bitcoin mining. You can see their Bitcoin mining is 3 times as large as their current AI revenue. So while they position as an AI company, they are still heavily reliant on mining. And so for that to be a focus, it's actually good. They kind of pivot because they have both. But if you see that their revenue dropped from 167 in mining down to 111, that's dropping really fast in a year. And their revenue doubled in AI cloud up to 33 million. So if it continues to double, we see the two kind of flip-flop, then they're going to be really highly driven by AI. But they have a little bit of a diversification as well, kind of protects them slightly. And so generally speaking, they're looking pretty solid as an AI infrastructure play. And I do have a long-term position in them, but in the short term, we're watching the volatility and seeing where the opportunities present themselves. If we do have any opportunities present themselves, we oftentimes will take advantage of shorter term trades. If you ever want to tune on in there and watch our live trading session and see how it is that I trade live every day at Market Open, I would love to see you there. You can surround yourself with like-minded individuals and watch my entries and exits at Market Open in the second link in the description. Go have a look at our daily live trading. And if you'd like to learn more about the charts, we have the challenge in the first link in the description for our chart reading challenge. If you want to tune on in next week, we'd love to see you there as well. If you earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.